going completely off topic here, but there's been one video of mine recently.
Oh yeah.
That's just been fucking getting recommended to everyone. And I have no idea why. It's an 8-year-old video that we've not talked about in this podcast.
So many people have tweeted us about it. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, so there's been a video recently that's been circulating that's called...
Recently at the time of filming.
Yeah, recently at the time of filming. It might still be circulating. Talking about it, it's probably going to start getting circulated again.
You deemed it.
So I should probably circle back to the start of AniTube itself. You guys are about to get a history lesson here.
Go on.
So, okay, so... Do you guys know who the very first AniTuber is?
I thought it was Mr. Anime.
Yeah.
That was my preconception.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be surprised if anyone watching this knew, because that means you've been around for as long as me. But the very first anime YouTuber is this guy called Hard's Anime Reviews.
Okay.
And he started in 2006, and he would just basically make very very basic anime reviews with like his camera was like up here.
The worst angle.
Yeah, the kind of like the worst angle you can think of.
The angle we all start at, right?
And he's now quit. It's funny because I tried to search him up and see if he's still around, and his first original channel got terminated, as everyone's did back then when they were reviewing anime, and his second channel is called, unironically, The Hard Mode. He called it The Hard Mode.
Okay.
And okay, if you search this up on YouTube, you have to search The Hard Mode, no space. Otherwise, you're not going to find it because it's like that buried within the search the search algorithm. But the second AniTuber was this person called Mr. Anime. And he basically made his anime YouTube channel to compete with Hard, because Hard was the only anime YouTube channel around, and then Mr. Anime was the second one, and at the time, he really was one of the big faces of anime YouTube. And I say big, he had like 1,000 subscribers. That's what I mean.
That's big shit though back in the day.
That is big shit back in 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
And then it was after Mr. Anime that there were like some other anime channels here and there, but those two are basically the founding fathers of AniTube.
Okay.
We have them to thank for where we are now, basically.
If people know the ending to the story, then you know how funny that statement is.
I know, right? So then after a while, I make my YouTube channel, and I do my own thing. And the very, very first shout out I got was from a Mr. Anime video. Okay. And it's still up.
Which video is it?
Huh? It's Mr. Anime. It's Mr.
Wait, is his channel still up?
Yeah, his channel is still up.
All stuff's still up.
You can view his entire history and everything that he did.
Wow, that's weird. Because who's that guy recently who got prosecuted for like child pornography, and they took down his channel like that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that Austin guy, the singing guy. Picture on screen. Yeah, I don't know. They
No.
immediately took down his channel.
Because I remember a couple of months ago, a Mr. Anime video like popped up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just randomly, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No. So Mr. Anime, the first time he shouted me out was just he made a video that I think it was called like the face of AniTube or Anime YouTube or something, and he just shouted out a bunch of OG anime reviews back in the day.
What a nice sounding
what a
guy.
nice
Yeah.
Guy.
So that was the very first boost in subscribers I got. Yeah. I remember messaging him, being like, "Oh, thanks a lot, man. Like that really helped me out. That got me like 300 subscribers. Like holy shit, that was a lot back in the day.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I think that was the video that pushed me over my first 1,000 subscribers.
Nice.
Which was a big fucking deal. So I was really happy, and I really respected the guy as well, because, you know, he was, if not for him, I'd probably be less confident to do what I did on start a YouTube channel.
Validation.
Yeah, and especially, you know, no matter what, whenever you see someone bigger than you shouting you out, that's like a big pat on the back.
Oh
yeah, I did well. So I was like, and he messaged me back being like, "Nah, it's no problem, bro. Like, I just really like your stuff. You know, congrats." And he couldn't even pronounce my name back then. I think in the video he called me Guy Gick.
No, don't say that. Now they're all going to call you Guy Gick.
The subreddit's just like new material.
It's free real estate.
New material. Let's go.
I've dug my own grave.
Okay.
So that was the last kind of interaction I had with him. Until
that was your first and last interaction.
Yeah, that was my first and last interaction. Back then, the anime YouTube community we knew about each other, but we didn't talk to each other that much. This was before,
still like the MSM days.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. So there wasn't an easy way to talk to each other apart from back when YouTube had messaging. You know, remember those days? Remember when people
DMs?
Yeah, YouTube DMs which were slowly just phased out of existence, I guess, and just nobody remembers that you could message, you could DM people on YouTube. But one day, I just woke up and I had this message from this other anime YouTuber who was called Aiko Arisaka 420, who's also like...
Wow, you remember that
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I know the entire history of anime YouTube right here. And he was like, he asked me if I'd heard about this article that's being like linked around. And it was this article that was this police report that basically just said, Trey Sessler has been arrested for the murdering his family. I'm like, well, is this Trey Sessler, the anime man, the same Trey Sessler?
The anime man?
Yeah, so not the anime.
I am Trey Sessler.
We got him out, folks. We got him out of prison.
God, oh my, fuck, I've just blanked on his actual name now. All that's coming to mind is the
Mr.
anime.
Anime.
Mr. Anime. Oh my god, I can't believe I blanked on the name mid-story.
Okay.
But
why'd you have to out me like that?
Bro, man, come on.
But I clicked on the article and he had his face, and that was just the oh shit.
Yeah.
Is this real? Like how I had like 50 different emotions.
Yeah, I kind of know how you
just seeing
feel.
because you don't know how to react to this, because the more I read, just the more sickening it got.
Yeah.
So the entire story was that apparently Trey Sessler, Mr. Anime, had been playing around with his brother, and they were playing around with guns.
As they did a lot on that channel.
As they did. And see, he had a lot of guns in like his channel and everything. But, you know, me back then, I just think Americans, guns, that's just what they do.
Actually, that's what British people think Americans are. We literally think Americans just walk around being like, howdy neighbor with the Glock.
Howdy, so he would just have guns in his anime reviews, and I just thought that was completely normal, which, you know... Because he was from Texas as well. He was from Texas, so I was like,
gunsling Texas.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, this is completely normal. This is nothing to worry about. And
I bet there's a Texan watching this video with their gun, just like, yeah, it's totally
even now, I see a Texan with a gun. I just think, you know, that's even normal, even after everything I've just about to experience. But I read the story, and he was playing around with his guns with his brother, and apparently he accidentally shot his brother, and he killed him. And so he didn't, the official story that he gave was he didn't want his parents to feel guilt, or his family to feel guilt about, you know, having their son kill one of their brothers. So he just thought, might as well fucking kill them all, which is
it's a fucking awful conclusion.
which is fucking awful, which is a fucking awful conclusion to come to. So apparently he kills his entire family, and then And then it gets worse, because the more information that comes out, the more we find out that he was actually not only planning to kill his family anyway, but he was actually planning a Columbine-style school shooting.
Yeah,
right.
Because I saw like this really good documentary on YouTube. I'm sure it's up there still.
Rainbot, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's basically covers the whole thing, but that's how I got all my information as well. Where he was planning to do a school shooting, and did he post about it online that he was going to do it or something like that? But he basically was on the way to the school, and that's when he got arrested. Yeah.
No, because he was planning the school shooting for way before he killed his family. Because I think how he thought was he killed his brother by accident, but he was always planning the school shooting anyway. He had it all mapped out and everything. So in between that, he accidentally killed his brother and killed his family, and that's what outed him. But he was always planning this. Jesus. And there's this really ominous video. I think it's the second to last Mr. Anime video that's on his channel. That's just called "Mr. Anime is Planning Something." I remember watching that, thinking, he's taking a break from AniTube.
He's planning a new review.
He's planning a comeback. But I don't know. It's because he talks about anime in that video, so he might have been just purely talking about anime. But I'm like, with all the information that we have now, he's probably planning.
That title was fucking scary.
It's fucked. That title was fucked.
Yeah.
And the more information that came out, the more I just didn't know how to process this. Because how do you process the fact that one of the people you looked up to and respected just fucking killed their family and was planning to shoot up a fucking school? Like, what'd you do with that?
Yeah.
And that bothered me for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember this was the time I was at university, and people were like, why does Garnt look like someone just died in his family or something?
Yeah.
But I think the best way I can describe it is, imagine if you like live in a small town and you may be like, you know everyone in that small town. You might not be friends with everyone in that small town, but you feel like this small tight-knit community. And then you find that someone in this small tight-knit community has done something awful.
Yeah.
It's like something that's not like beyond words, beyond words awful. And then to try to process this, I made the video, which is being recommended now.
Now it's circulating everywhere.
Even though it's 8 years old, it's for some reason YouTube decided, people want to see Garnt reacting to Mr. Anime murdering his family. I don't know how that came about.
It's literally on everyone's recommended. It was on my recommended. I think Connor said it was on his recommended.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, I don't know why. Like, it's probably not monetized, right?
No, it's not monetized.
Right? So it's just like, it just goes against everything about the YouTube algorithms. Like, it's not monetized. It's about a horrible tragedy. It's about a very sensitive topic.
I mean,
it's 8 years old.
I think I uploaded this before even like the monetization thing like started on YouTube, or at least before I was monetized, because I had like 1,000+ subscribers back then, so it wasn't massive.
I remember as well that I remember stumbling upon a Mr. Anime video, even like way before I knew about the whole like anime YouTubing sphere and everything, because it was Mr. Anime's review on Gantz that made me want to go watch Gantz.
Wow.
And
wow, this guy's got a bright career.
and I was like, wow, this guy's like really fun. He fucking had, do you know how ghetto his setup was? He had like a webcam or something to record, and he was sitting on his bed, and he had his lap. It was like a notepad.
It was like an Apple notepad.
Yeah, it was like an Apple notepad of the script, and he was literally just looking down at the Apple notepad, just reading off the script, and then every now and then, I guess because he didn't know how to edit his videos, so instead he had a remote that controlled the zoom of the lens.
I remember that he controlled the zoom of the lens, and he just started talking to the camera, and then he just zoomed back out.
It was no cuts. So he was like, I remember in the Gantz review, he was talking about the acid scene, right? In the Gantz anime, and how he was like, it made me go, and then he stops and zooms in and zooms really far into his face, and he goes, fuck. And then he zooms out with a dead face, and then just goes back to reading it.
Yeah.
And that was the review. No cuts, no edits. And I was like, I want to watch this anime.
I mean, that was quality content back in the day of AniTube. I remember when I started coming out with my videos, I was one of the first to actually just use an editing software, even though it was just putting images over whatever I was saying. I was like, people were like, what? He's using Windows Movie Maker? Impossible.
How can you understand
this? Wow.
But that's the story of the first person I ever interacted.
Man, humble beginnings.
Yeah.
It's so fucked. Yeah, but I recommend, like, as fucked of a topic that is, like, I definitely recommend that documentary on YouTube that somebody made.
Oh, it's great.
Because
Yeah,
it perfectly goes through everything about it. And at the end of the documentary, I don't know how they got this footage, but there's this...
Oh, the police footage?
The police footage of how he's in, like, the jail cell and he's, like, doing the interview. That shit is so scary, man.
Yeah.
Like, and to think, this is the guy who founded... basically what I do for a living.
I know, right?
Right? Like, that's so fucking scary.
It's so weird, because I've had this conversation with a few people, and we just think, man, there's a lot of shit that's happened in AniTube.
Right?
I think there's stuff that, unfortunately, happens in every community.
Yeah.
That we probably will never find out. Some really fucked up shit that people have done.
Oh, yeah.
It happens,
I mean,
right?
we've only recently found out about a lot of it, right?
Right. I mean, it's really unfortunate, because we don't like to think that we know people who are like that, but I've at times proven anything. It's that, I've met people and been friendly with people who have done really fucking horrible stuff. Yeah. I'm sure.
I mean, I never knew that one of my best friends used to punch kids in the face. Right? Like,
hey, that's not bad. Those kids, they punched me first. They pieces of shit.
I mean, once you look up and respect a fucking serial killer school shooter, then it's all downhill from there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know how it feels to see a police report and be like, oh no, oh
Yeah,
fuck.
it's just a mess of emotions. It's surely this is fake.
Yeah,
Like,
because you see it and you're like, I've never seen a police report. First of all, what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah. This could easily be
Yeah.
doctored. Like, yeah.
And then just seeing like all the counts being slowly like added, and you're like, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time because I had a conversation with Aiko Arisaka, the anime review, about how we should process this. And I remember him saying, I think he'll keep the memories of Mr. Anime like the same, but it's just he has to view Mr. Anime and Trey Sessler as like different people. And I think that was the first time I had just thought about the entire process of having to view online personalities as different in person as how they portray themselves.
It's the whole thing of like separating the artist from the creation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, right. It was more the fact that this happened in our small community as well, because
It's like happening in like the small back rural town, right, where nothing happens.
Because I'm sure now in AniTube, I'm sure there's some arsehole somewhere.
Oh, there's probably
out there
someone doing
that
some
we don't
despicable shit
that we don't know about, but they weren't a figurehead in this very small community.
Yeah, they weren't the fucking founding father, right?
The literal founding father.
The literal founding
the
father.
The more you say that out loud, the more I'm like, oh,
The founding fathers tend to normally be sketchy characters.
How do we sell that the anime YouTube community is like this really cool thing? Oh, the founding father's a serial killer. That's a conversation starter, isn't it?
I like to think of it of, it's one of those things that was going to be started anyway, eventually around that time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It just so happened that he was the first, or
Yeah.
one of the first.
Maybe that's the reason why nobody used anime in their username until I came up,
could be.
because
Yeah.
because I know for a fact that some of my early videos, man, those comments were just like, the anime man, I thought that guy went to jail. Like they legitimately mistook me for Mr. Anime.
Who would mistake you for that?
Yeah.
Better run.
Rewind that.
Flashback to 5 minutes ago.
Oh, Jesus.